Клуб Аскалон.
Do you know where you are standing right now?
In front of the Askalon Club, I presume.
The Askalon Club only summons or ostracizes. What is your business tonight?
I received an invitation. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome to the Askalon Club, then, Dr. Reed. Please proceed. Lord Redgrave is waiting on you upstairs.
Идите колотить, тут все мертвые. Практически.
There has been quite a battle here.
Можно с ним поболтать?
I'm sure the Askalon Club has the money
Welcome
to
to the
replace the
Askalon Club,
furniture.
then, Dr. Reed.
Ждет наверху. Истории и цели клуба. Ассоциация джентльменов, которые стремятся втайне охранять интересы короны. Я основал этот клуб в 1837 году, чтобы отдать дань уважения своему создателю, Уильяму Маршалу, первому графу Пемберского, защитнику Англии. Все члены клуба должны быть из хороших семей и обладать безупречными моральными качествами, поскольку членами клуба могут стать смертные, которых тщательно изучают и оценивают, прежде чем предложить им бессмертие. То целью клуба является поддержание респектабельных традиций и норм поведения добропорядочного вампирского общества, а также сохранение и усиление гегемонии Англии в мире. Мы истинная элита британского общества. Мы Аскалон, копье святого Георгия, которым этот защитник Англии убил дракона. Мы сами копьеносцы. Поэтому клянемся защищать интересы империи. Ну, в принципе, интересно. Типа, я так понимаю, они наблюдали на протяжении какого-то времени за людьми, которые отличаются там, ну, типа, из хороших семей, вот это все, с хорошей работой. Короче, делали элитных бессмертными, элитных, ну, каких-то влиятельных людей. Неудивительно, наверное, что он... Так, это что, я на улицу вышла? Попал в этот список. Двор. Ладно, нафига я вышла отсюда? Просто выход, наверное. Артур Пемблтон.
Welcome to the Askalon Club, then, Dr. Reed.
Так. Что это? Поглощение крови. Хороший кинжал. Новый тип оружия. Закрыто. Какое-то хирургическое оружие, по-моему. Так. Всякое лежит здесь. И чё? Мне надо еще выше пойти. А. Хм. Как туда пройти? А, все.
Good evening. We repel the intruders for now.
Какой-то старичок.
My good friends, if I may have your attention,
Так.
behold our visitor, the good Dr. Reed. Newborn of blood so pure and strong that even my friend Fergal Bansher was no match for him. Come forward, young Ekon, for we have so much to discuss.
Hmm.
Welcome to the Askalon Club, Dr. Reed. I am Lord Redgrave, Earl of Bristol and chairman of this exclusive association.
Lord Redgrave.
At last we meet. I've been eager to make your acquaintance. I've heard some astounding things about you. Please accept my condolences for your loss, Dr. Reed.
Thank you, my lord. Lady Ashbury expressed your wish to meet me.
Yes. The lady has always been a useful acquaintance, though not always reliable. Is she a good friend of yours?
Я восхищаюсь. Она близкий друг. Она будет полезна.
She's a close friend, and I'm honored that she feels the same about me.
The centuries have taught me never to trust a woman completely, especially if she is a mortal. Too prone to emotions, if you ask me. Too fickle when it comes to important decisions.
My lord, do not expect me to speak ill of Lady Ashbury.
Of course not, and I praise your loyalty. Would you offer the same fidelity to the Empire?
What do you mean?
I speak of the Skull Plague that threatens London and the country. You have been
Блин,
on the
я
front
забыла,
line
что
in
они
the
не
East
любят
End,
женщин.
but the time has come to open up a second front here.
The epidemic has escaped the quarantine. You have new cases of the outbreak.
We don't know for certain, but we cannot allow the disease to threaten the prominent heads of Great Britain.
Почему сейчас? Почему я? Откуда внезапная дружба?
Why do you suddenly need me?
The Askalon Club only recruits the best, and you definitely fit the bill. Your scientific and medical reputation alone would qualify you as a candidate.
You want me to find possible sources of the outbreak in the West End. Is that it?
Ah, straight to the point, like all eager newborns. We shall have time to talk about all this, Dr. Reed, but first, I should like to get to know you better.
Talk? Is that the only reason you asked me here?
Well, no. I also wanted to meet the intriguing Ekon who made such a powerful progeny of his sister. You have not learned the name of your maker, am I correct?
Не говорите о моей семье. Нет, не знаю.
I haven't.
Have no embarrassment, Dr. Reed. We all make mistakes. But whatever your lineage, you are definitely Askalon material.
What do you mean?
I would like you to become a member of the Askalon Club, and to serve me as such.
Before I accept, I have so many questions.
Please ask.
What does it mean to be a member of the Askalon Club?
It means that you swear to protect the interests of the Crown, that you become a loyal servant of the British Empire.
Do you have any official recognition from the government? A charter from His Majesty the King?
No. Of course, the Askalon Club publicly supports the Empire, but the true nature of its members remains a secret.
Am I supposed to follow orders?
As founder and chairman of the club, I alone am entitled to make demands of our members, and I do appreciate obedience.
Но мне кажется, в любом случае надо на него работать. Или что тут? Вступать в него.
What is the Askalon Club's express purpose?
We follow the credo of William Marshall, the greatest knight who ever lived. As was he, we are sworn to protect the British Empire.
What does Askalon mean?
Ascalon was the lance wielded by St. George, glorious patron saint of England when he slew the dragon. And like that lance, we pierce the hearts of all our nation's enemies.
William Marshall founded the Askalon Club.
Not exactly. William Marshall granted me immortality, and I founded the club a few years later. The good knight has been gone for so long.
I killed Fergal, who claimed to be one of yours, sent to cleanse the East End of all Skulls. Will his death be an issue?
Do not worry. My priorities have changed. Fergal was a zealous servant of mine, but like any servant, he had his limitations and is readily replaced if necessary.
I agree to join the club.
This is good news. Good news indeed in these crucial times. Let's inform the Assembly formally and proceed with your initiation.
My initiation?
Fear not. Nothing fancy nor dangerous. It is just that we, the members of Askalon, believe that tradition and custom are the backbone of this country. My fellow members, dear friends, please gather and welcome this Ekon as one of our own.
Is he worthy? Is his blood pure?
Well, speak, Dr. Reed, in front of the most sacred blood. The blood of our beloved William Marshall, speak now. Will you serve and protect the crown as he did?
Yes, I will.
Then, young Ekon, it is time to testify with your blood. It is time to sign the Book of Allegiance. I know it's awfully gothic and a tad pedantic, but England's traditions are the backbone of our nation.
Что, сейчас будет какой-то выбор? Да? Да. Нет.
Delightful. Welcome to the Askalon Club, Dr. Reed. Take your place among the bearers of the lance.
One of us! One of us!
Поговорить с
That
лордом
went well,
Рейганом.
did it not? It is always useful to bolster the troops' morale, especially before a difficult battle.
You have the makings of a general, my lord.
I was, though very long ago, well, not quite a general, but a proud defender of the crown.
So why did you really want to meet me?
Straight to the point again, young Ekon. All right, let's talk, you and I, Lance Sparrow.
У него что-то с шеей.
According to my spies, you have worked with Dr. Edgar Swansea on the epidemic, and your findings were quite alarming.
Do you know Edgar Swansea?
Not personally, but I've been told he has some sort of immortal fetish and is a good friend of yours.
Does it bother you that I consider him my good friend?
As long as you reveal nothing of the club's inner workings, why should I forbid you engaging in conversation with the good Dr. Swansea?
You were spying on me.
Not personally. I rarely leave this building. But once he found you, Fergal kept me informed. Until you put an end to his mission.
Who was Fergal? I don't see him sipping tea with the others in the club.
Fergal Banshire was my squire of sorts. Even before becoming that magnificent beast, he was a brute. He served me well for decades.
No, I mean, what was he? He was clearly no ordinary vampire.
No, he was a Volcod. All muscles and instinct. Quite the rare breed. Ferociously territorial. Mortals often mistake them for werewolves.
You do know I killed him.
Yes.
Will you bear ill will towards me for his death?
Of course not. Your victory was quite impressive and courageous. You earned my respect.
Как-то легко он типа относится к этому.
Yes, I'm convinced the recent invasion of frenzied scowls in London is directly linked to the epidemic. This is not the Spanish flu, but something else.
I would be glad to hear more of your discoveries, Dr. Reed, but for now, my main concern is the security of London's inhabitants, both mortal and immortal.
What do you mean?
Alarmed by the epidemic, the Guard of Prewen has started a war against us British vampires. To appease the situation, we must eradicate the Skulls.
Так, скали жертвы. Некоторые скали стали мирные. Бля.
Scowls are hostile vectors of contagion. That is a fact. But first and foremost, they are victims.
I agree, Dr. Reed. Most of the new Skulls who roam the streets at night used to be good British citizens. But they must be put down nevertheless.
So, what do you want me to do?
I want you to investigate the city thoroughly. I have reason to fear there are cases of contagion in this part of town. Our absolute priority is to find and cleanse them.
And how would you like me to proceed?
By all means necessary, Dr. Reed. You are now a member of the Askalon Club and you have carte blanche. Interrogate the locals, follow all the leads you find, and get results.
Некоторые горожане, которые могут... А зачем? Фамильные портреты. Ну, я приблизительно поняла, что это значит.
How is your investigation?
I have a few...
All right, but
What can you tell me about the Great Hunt?
it's a major concern. And I'm convinced we'll only get a satisfactory conclusion by putting an end to the epidemic.
I have already met Geoffrey McCullum. I am certain he will persist until he has killed every last vampire.
The Guard's current successful recruitment campaign is driven by the ravenous behavior of the Skulls.
I see. So without the epidemic creating scowls, the Guard could not convince anybody of our presence.
Exactly. Once we have put the epidemic behind us, we need only wait until the Guard grows old and weak. Time will once again become our ally.
What about the risk of a full-scale attack here? Geoffrey McCullum is a daring leader.
That is exactly why so many of our number have left the country until things improve. But not me. I founded this club. I'll die defending it.
You made me swear on the blood of William Marshall during my initiation ceremony. Why was that?
William Marshall was the most glorious knight who ever lived. He served 5 kings and was a living example of probity for all. And he was my maker.
William Marshall was a vampire. Is this some sort of joke? Wait. Could he be
William
my
Marshall?
maker?
That would be joyful news, for it would mean he still walks among us. But alas, the great knight has left this world for good.
Why is his blood so sacred to the Askalon Club?
He was simply the greatest defender of the realm we have ever known. I fought by his side at the Battle of Preston, and he made me his progeny following the fight.
May I ask you about the mortal who attended my initiation, Mr. Aloysius Dawson?
A member of the club does not normally ask questions about other members. We trust each other mutually.
So he really is a member then?
Indeed. Only the most eminent members are allowed to attend such ceremonies. Even if I admit some of us fled during the first hours of the Great Hunt.
But Mr. Dawson is mortal. Are you not afraid he might reveal who you are? Especially to your enemies.
Aloysius Dawson is a man of his word, as are all of us.
Dawson.
This is the Askalon Club, Dr. Reed. We do not grant access to the unworthy.
Goodbye.
Godspeed.
Кто такой Доусон? Я не понимаю. Так, а с ними можно поговорить?
Good evening, Dr. Reed. How does it feel to be this evening's centerpiece? Figuratively.
По-моему, это человек. Алозий Доусон. Мне неуютно, ничего особенного, мне не нравится.
I feel perfectly fine. Do I have cause for concern?
Do not be alarmed. The Askalon Club has a tried and tested policy for choosing its initiates.
May I ask who you are, sir?
Why would you be interested?
Well, as you seem to be the only man in the room with a beating heart, you draw quite a bit of attention yourself.
Ah, vampire senses never cease to fascinate me. They dwarf those of mere mortals. I am Aloysius Dawson, by the way.
Are you a member of the club?
Yes, I am. And I have been for many years. And will be until the day
Если он много лет, значит он надежный.
What can you tell me about it?
It's not really my place to give you such
Ну,
information.
должен не предать.
I am merely a mortal member. And a dying one at that.
Хотя не факт.
Are you sick?
Personally, I consider my advancing years are a sickness in itself. My body is slowly abandoning me, Dr. Reed.
Are you not afraid? You are surrounded by vampires.
Sir, it's for that very reason that I joined the club in the first place.
Is not the nature of this club a secret shared by only a privileged few?
My dear Dr. Reed, I have spent years and a fortune precisely to gather that kind of information.
So you asked for membership?
I have been a member of many clubs in many countries. But I must admit, this one is my favorite.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave?
I would not dare speak of our chairman without his consent.
Mr. Dawson, of Dawson and Dawson, the wealthiest man in England. It is a pleasure to meet such a prominent figure of London.
A withering London figurehead, to be precise.
Are you sick, Mr. Dawson? I am a doctor, you know.
My case is beyond the scope of traditional medicine. I have spent fortunes on the world's most competent doctors to arrive at that diagnostic conclusion.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Should I suppose that you're here in search of some form of immortality?
Absolutely not. I'm here to implement my plan to save the city I was born in, to cast out the ghastly evil that has us all on our knees.
Неужели это так?
What do you know about the Guard of Priwen?
I should not say this, but I admire their commitment. This is what the nation needs right now.
But they are our enemies.
They are not mine, Dr. Reed.
Would you help them?
No. There is a time for such methods. But brute force will not be enough to fight this plague. We have to think differently.
What is the situation like in this part of town?
I am sure Lord Redgrave will enlighten you more effectively than I.
Money cannot solve every problem. This mysterious epidemic is going to require more than money can buy.
You're right. Money is nothing unless one has the will to wield it. I have a plan, sir. A radical one that will save all that is essential in London.
What is your plan then?
Quarantine and barricades are futile. What we need is a wall. A formidable, unscalable wall to isolate the deserving from the infected masses.
But I'm shocked no one took the time to clean up the mess inside the club since we were attacked. Must admit the Guard of Priwen have
By doing so, you would create two separate ghettos. What if the disease gets past the wall? The results would be disastrous.
Not if we eliminate all suspected cases of infection as soon as they appear. A necessary sacrifice.
Are you not mistaking sacrifice for summary execution?
Why do you care? Are you not a vampire? Removed from all mortal concerns? Decisiveness is what the city needs, and it needs it now. Welcome
Yeah.
to the Askalon Club, Doctor.
А с ними я не смогу поговорить. Видимо, нет. Ну, все получается.
Welcome to the Askalon Club, then, Dr. Reed.
Интересно, мне надо со всеми жителями поговорить.
I think Lord Redgrave just suggested I was sired by an ancient vampire.
Потомок древнего вампира.
Good evening, Miss.
And good.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
A few days ago, I spotted a strange house while campaigning for women's suffrage. Awful smell. No answer when I knocked.
Where is it?
It's the Mullaneys, a nice family who live in a big house near the park in the eastern part of this neighborhood.
Goodbye, Charlotte.
She's been quite busy these last few nights.
Какой-то странный дом.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
Not really. Wait, now that you mention it, I don't see the McPhersons in my favorite restaurants. They love delicate meals too, you understand.
Thank you. It may be nothing, but
They have a house in the southern part of the district, somewhere north of...
Goodbye, Mr. Russell.
Южной части. Железнодорожного моста какого-то.
Good evening, old chap.
I won't lie to you, Johnny.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Can you help me?
Infection is everywhere these days. But if you ever go to the park near that swanky house belonging to the Mullaneys?
Yes? What about the Mullaneys? What about their house?
Not enough noise for a big family with children. Not enough movement. Closed doors. What is going on in there? I wonder.
You need...
Так, мне сказала его жена зайти на следующий день к ней домой.
Buy something or not, I am happy to help.
Так. Так, а может, что не скажет дворецкий? Уже здесь?
Yes, Mr. Jonathan?
Мама думает, что я мертв?
Do you know my mother speaks to the dead members of this family?
Yes. I sometimes hear her speaking to you, Miss Mary, and her baby. Sometimes your father, too.
So she thinks I'm also dead. And what about you?
I believe she only sees her relatives as the dead she speaks to, Mr. Jonathan. It breaks my heart to see Miss Reed like that.
She may get better. It's only a hypothesis, but I know my mother is strong. Whatever illusions have clouded her mind, they will fade in time.
Yes. With time, Miss Reed will recover from this cursed year. I know that your return can only be beneficial to that process.
I'm currently investigating sources of the epidemic in this part of town. Do you know anything useful?
Not really, except all the Macpherson's servants resigned a few days ago. They feared becoming infected, they said.
The Macphersons? Where do they live?
I think it's a rich house near the railway bridge in the southern part of the district.
Goodbye.
Of course, Mr.
В каком-то особняке с железнодорожным мостом. Так. Ей что-то можно сказать?
Hello again, mother.
Jonathan.
Goodbye, mother.
Goodbye, son. Aubrey, I'm not sure visiting Italy is a good idea this time of the year.
Так, надо скрафтить что-нибудь. Опиум. Где опиум? Опиум, блин, взять. И поспать, наверное. А где... гипноз? Кровавый котел. Ну, чё так? Как он прокачивается? Исцеление. Саквояж врача. Наступительный. Вот выносливость надо. Она у меня постоянно быстро тратится. $700. 2000. Так. Ну. Жесть у меня выносливость. Увеличилась. Так, а чё тут я? Кто-нибудь на помощь? Кто зовет на помощь? Есть здесь кто-нибудь? А где это? В доме, что ли? Твою мать. А почему они меня пытаются убить? Это же странно. Оу. Кто это? Ересь чистой крови. Чистая кровь, всем известно это выражение. Его произносили грязные рты еретиков и чужеземных варваров. Иногда мы сами его используем, но понимаем ли, что оно означает? Вампир, появившийся на свет из живота бессмертного. Отвратительная идея. Как такому существу найти свое место среди живых? Какой может быть его цель? Какая может быть цель? Джентльмен, наша цель ясна. Аскалон должен защищать империю и всех ее жителей. Мы защитники и пастыри, даже если иногда нам приходится жертвовать одной из овец ради собственного пропитания. Того, кто поддался желанию произвести на свет бессмертного ребенка, следует уничтожить. Того, кто поддался желанию произвести на свет бессмертного ребенка, следует уничтожить. Ну, наверное, да. Может быть, я хуйню сделала, что его спасла?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need help, sir?
I think I'm fine. But what happened to my jailer? Be careful. He's as vicious as he is strong.
You don't have to worry about him anymore. What happened here?
I am Tadao Kimura. I was imprisoned by this lunatic for several days. I thought I was going to die here.
You're not going to die now, Mr. Kimura. If you hurry, you should be able to get home safely.
It seems that I owe you my life. You have all my gratitude, Dr. Reed, since it is the most precious thing I possess.
Чё? Всё?
Goodbye, Mr. Kimura.
Может, его загипнотизировать и схавать? Нафиг он нужен? Еще. Так.
Miss Reed worries me.
Так, эта женщина жила вот там. Вроде как. Интересно, пустит ли она меня сейчас? Блин, это не тут было. Или здесь. Вот этот дом.
Hello again, Venus.
Jonathan, you're still up. Can't you just knock at people's doors during the day?
I'm sure you can spare me a few minutes. For old time's sake.
Of course you may enter, Jonathan.
Работала?
When Mary came here with her husband and her son. It was such a beautiful family.
Так, что тут найти можно? А вдруг?
It's a pleasure to see you again, Venus.
So you returned from the war in one piece too. Thank God. My Clarence is back home too.
How is the old rust?
Probably outside.
Но она как-то получше его
facing
выглядит.
ghosts and chimeras. Clarence has changed a lot since he returned from the war, you know.
How have you been since the last time we met? How long has it been? 3 years now?
I've done my duty, like all British women. You have no idea what it was like to wait for months without knowing if I'd still be a wife or a widow.
I understand. Luckily, this part of town has been saved from the worst of the bombings, from what I've seen.
Yes, and it's also true about the epidemic. The flu has killed here too, of course, but not on such a large scale as in other parts of town.
Have you noticed anything peculiar about the neighborhood recently?
You mean except for your return to town? No. Oh, and again, Jonathan, please accept my condolences for your sister.
Thank you, Venus. It was so sudden, and I've been so busy, I haven't spoken to anyone about it.
I wish I could have assisted at the funeral, but you know, it's been so quick. And what with the epidemic in the streets?
There's no need to apologize, my dear. It's normal, considering the circumstances.
No, it's not. I am sure that Clarence has not even thought to present you his condolences. He is too busy with his penny dreadful stories.
Why is my return so surprising?
It's more an unexpected happy end than a surprise. You and Clarence, back from the war. You have no idea how hard it's been for me.
Что-то мне кажется, не знаю.
Venus, why do you worry so much about your family's reputation?
Everyone laughs at Clarence now. And they avoid me because they believe I share his insane opinions. I'm a leper in my own community.
Жесть, сколько подсказок.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
The McPhersons. I heard they locked themselves in their own house.
They could just be afraid of getting sick.
Perhaps you're right. But if I were you, I'd pay them a visit. A big house, reachable through a courtyard, to the north of the railway bridge.
Good.
Survived the Great War. Feared the worst.
Жесть, сколько подсказок. Можно что-то найти, наверное, какое-то письмо. Ее спальня. Откуда у нее столько денег? Почему он так,
It's locked, all right.
почему он так живет богато? Вон там лежит какое-то письмо. Вчера я весь день проплакала от радости. Так, вчера я весь день проплакала от радости. Я не знала, что счастье ему причинять такую боль. Я только что получила письмо от Кларенса. Он вернулся с фронта, живым и невредимым. Через 2 недели он будет дома. Так, спасибо, скорее бы увидите дорогого мужа. Настроение Кларенса все еще меня беспокоит. Он сам не свой с тех пор, как вернулся. Поначалу я думала, что это просто необходимый период адаптации. Но со временем он стал вести себя более странно. Он проводит дни и ночи в поисках каких-то доказательств. Его не волнует инфлюцена, он равнодушен ко мне. Он начинает меня пугать. Это невероятно. Потратил половину своей пенсии на какие-то дурацкие листовки, которые теперь хочет раздавать бесплатно. Люди уже смеются надо мной. Он собирается организовать лекцию в здании недавно закрывшегося театра. Хочет предупредить людей о том, что в Лондоне живут злые существа. Вход, конечно, бесплатный. Он лишился разума. Так, Кларенс признался, что потратил на не половину пенсии, а всю... И еще часть наших сбережений. Во время войны бумага и чернила также подорожали. Но это необходимые расходы. Так как он мне сказал, соседи уже смеются над ним в лицо. Я не знаю, что делать. Так, сегодня мясник мистер Голуэй прислал мне счет за месяц и потребовал, чтобы я полностью его оплатила. Кроме того, он сказал, что теперь будет продавать нам мясо только за наличные. В долг он больше не отпускает. 2 дня назад то же самое мне сказал булочник. Сначала я подумала, что это связано с эпидемиями, новыми ограничениями, но мои друзья, похоже, все еще могут брать товары в кредит. Мне было так стыдно, что я не смогла вымолвить ни слова. Дальше так продолжаться не может. Кларенс окончательно спятил, он тратит все наши деньги, и я не понимаю, как его остановить. Иногда я жалею о том, что он вернулся с войны. Жесть. Попал в какую-то секту эту. Так, а можно с ней поговорить об этом? Наверное, только с ним. Листовка с предупреждением. Но он против вампиров пошел.
Good evening, old chap.
I won't lie to you, Johnny. I'm not.
Tell me what you have discovered about vampires, Clarence.
They've always been here. And if you search for long enough, you realize others know about these devils too. I'm not alone.
Кто-нибудь знает о твоем исследовании?
Have you shared your research with anybody else?
No. But I've published my leaflets all across the city, hoping that someday someone will realize I'm printing the truth.
What do you mean you're not alone? Who have you met?
The Guard of Prewin, the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, Ichabod Throgmorton. Those names always pop up when you dig deep enough.
Have you spoken with any of them?
No. With the quarantine, it's almost impossible to leave the West End. But as a doctor, maybe you could, Johnny.
Are you asking me to help you prove the existence of vampires, Clarence?
Yes, Johnny. Please, gather all the information you can find about vampires and bring it to me. You're the only friend I have left. I need you.
Do you realize you are ruining your family, Clarence? Don't you see the risk here?
Money isn't important. Not important when it is a matter of life and death. That is what my dear Venus cannot understand.
People will laugh at you, if they don't already. Think about your wife and your position. Think about your future.
I understand my wife's embarrassment, but gossips don't kill, vampires do. There'll be no future if people don't open their eyes.
I can't believe I'm telling you this, but if warning people is that important to you, why not choose a more efficient way to spend your money?
Don't you think I tried? I knocked at every door, went to every bank, I even tried to be published. No, Jonathan. This is a one-man war.
Clarence, why have you distributed leaflets about vampires all across the West End?
I have to warn everybody about them. They've killed thousands of people already.
Блять, он бесполезен на самом деле. Даже если это его друг, он занимается хуйней.
Come on, Clarence. Who's going to believe that?
I'm not mad, Jonathan. You have to believe me. I know they are real. They're all around us, even as we speak.
Ты не в себе, тебе нужна помощь. Я верю вам.
Clarence, I'm your friend, so I'm not going to judge you. But think about your wife, your family. You're in pain, and you need help. I can help you.
I don't need a doctor, Jonathan. I need my best friend to trust me.
Твою мать. Как-то можно его... Как сожрать? Блин. А где я могу его сожрать? Блин, а где?
Good evening.
Как это сделать? Может, тут показано, нет? Объять. Блин, может, я зря, конечно, сделала?
I should have known you were one of them, Johnny. Why was I so blind?
Так, я его убила. Не знаю, правильно ли я поступила, но... Он против вампиров выдвигался. Я не знаю, можно было ли его или спасти, в принципе. Ну-ка.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this.
Infection. Infection.
And where is this house?
West of the park. Not very far.
I must.
Так.
Hello.
Hello, Jonathan. I remember when Mary came here with her husband and...
Так, если я скажу,
What
что
do
он
you-
умер.
Tell me about Clarence's obsession with vampires.
It drives me so crazy it makes my stomach hurt.
I understand your irritation, Venus, but you have to accept the trauma Clarence endured on the battlefield.
The question is simple, Jonathan. Is my husband mad? Yes or no? Do vampires exist? Or is Clarence a lunatic?
So you don't believe Clarence?
If poor Mary, bless her soul, had tried to convince you of the existence of bloody vampires, would you have believed her? Seriously?
The important question is,
Привет.
what do you really think of your husband?
I'm tough, Jonathan. He should have told me the horrors he witnessed, however appalling it was, instead of inventing a fantasy about blood-drinking monsters.
Why do you and your husband argue so much?
He is not the kind man I married and loved. He is obsessed now. Obsessed with chimeras.
Привет.
I feel
Привет.
trapped. It just makes me want to scream.
What do you think about Clarence squandering his fortune on his obsession?
Soon we'll be poor and forced to sell the house.
Ну, по идее, его уже нет. Значит,
In
она
which
точно
filthy,
обеднеет.
infected part of town will we end up?
Бля. Ну, он умер, блин. Я думала, что можно об этом сказать.
But at this hour...
Ладно. Мне сказали, что в парке есть какой-то дом. Но он где-то здесь, получается. Это дом возле железной дороги. Что это там? Не поняла.
Why are vampire hunters sniffing around here? I need to find out what they're after.
Выяснить, что им нужно. Ёпта. Кресты какие-то. 4. Ой, это скачок. Я прокачала. Дополнительный. Это где-то здесь. Да, блядь. Жри.
I cannot enter.
Как будто этот дом. Нет! Думала, подобрать что-то можно. Ликвидировать источник инфекции.
This woman's body has multiple lacerations. They're deep, too. Whoever did this was driven by rage.
Блин, реально на ведьмака похоже этим чутьем. Так. Что это? Какой-то плакат. Второй труп.
He had his tongue removed and his eyes gouged out. He was a victim of brutal torture.
Жесть.
This one's neck is broken. He was young. Probably the son.
Походу какой-то вампир. Ну, не факт, конечно. Так. Блять. Кто это? Это та бабка?
You killed your family.
They mocked my talent.
Эльза Малани? Кто это такая? Твою мать. Наверное, плохо, что я пью ее кровь.
I've never seen such a radical mutation. Could it be a new stage in the disease's evolution?
Новая мутация. Есть какие-то против этого дыма штуки? Письмо от театральной школы Дорис Флетчер. Так, дорогая Эльза, я с огромной радостью сообщаю, что ты принята в мою театральную школу. Сценка, которую ты сыграла на прошлой неделе, убедила меня в том, что у тебя есть все задатки настоящей актрисы. Ум, достоинство и смелость. Я буду лично тренировать и учить тебя. Я приглашаю тебя пожить в школе на время этих напряженных занятий. Убеждена, что потенциал моих учеников раскрывается только в результате полного погружения. Поэтому, пожалуйста, не забудь взять ночную рубашку, все необходимые для того, чтобы провести неделю в моей школе. С уважением, Дорис Флетчер.
So, this girl took lessons at the famous Doris Fletcher acting school.
И она их, походу, всех убила. Как выяснилось. Волчок. Да блин. Хватит жрать крыс. Она и есть, получается. Мне говорили про какой-то здоровый дом. Возле какого-то моста. Может быть, здесь? По-моему, это убежище. Да. Нью. Насыщенная сыворотка крови. Блять, а где этот дом? Мне сказали, что тут какой-то возле железнодорожного моста, рядом с парком, есть какой-то дом. Какая-то кровь. Что не очень-то и вас... Жесть, тут суперспособности. Или вот тут какой-то дом. Опа. Второе письмо Обри Рида. Мой дорогой сын, это мое второе письмо тебе. Если ты нашел его, то, скорее всего, показал первую часть своей сестре Мэри и моей дорогой Эмилин. Я думаю, тебе не стоит скрывать то, что найдешь, но решение я оставлю за тобой. Ты помнишь наши прогулки в парке под этим деревьями? Твоя мать учила тебя грамоте. В этом парке я прятал только чудесные сокровища для тебя и Мэри. Столько. Вы оба были такими умными, такими талантливыми. Я всегда знала, что вы станете великими людьми. Я всегда вами гордился. Когда меня спрашивали, кем ты хочешь стать, я с гордостью отвечал тем, кем захочет. Твоя мать была уверена, что ты пойдешь по ее пути и станешь художником. Тебе нравилось всегда читать и писать. Я до сих пор храню твое самое первое стихотворение, как и первый рисунок, Мэри. Когда ты выбрал медицину, твоя мать была достаточно умна, чтобы скрыть свое беспокойство. А лично я был рад, что ты не стал скучным банкиром вроде меня. Когда ты сообщил нам, что решил строить карьеру в медицине, чтобы сделать лучше жизнь всех людей, богатых и бедных, я понял, что мы, твои родители, преподавали тебе самый важный урок: ценить человека за его качество, а не за богатство. Если хочешь узнать больше, тебе нужно просто вспомнить, какую больницу ты выбрал для своей первой интернатуры. Твой любящий отец.
I had almost forgotten.
Я и забыл,
I
когда пытался
applied
устроиться в
for the
Пембургскую
position of
больницу.
Pembroke.
Это было так давно.
It was so long ago.
Письмо в больнице? Блять, у меня закончились... У меня закончилась эта штука. Да блядь! Какой ужас. Должен быть где-то этот дом. Я, если честно, понятия не имею, где он. Это карантинная зона. Крытый рынок. Бля. Что тут делать? Да блин, что такое? Whitechapel. Может, мне все-таки надо туда? А все-таки, может быть, надо? В ту сторону. Похоже, будто надо. Так, ладно. Кажется, все.